Welcome to another exciting episode of Smash Writing. Okay, I'll tone it down by saying it's still going to be a good episode, but maybe not as exciting as we're all used to, and everything like that. But good update, good news. It's update regarding good news. Sorry, many of you guys listened to us last week. And I gave an update regarding Justin. Justin will not be here for a few weeks. He had an accident. He is okay. Good news is that we've talked, and of course, I've been checking in on him every day. Good news is that he will be set to return in about 4 to 5 weeks. He's actually going to be out of the hospital, hopefully by Monday, and to save him from, let him heal up, he's not going to be joining us, even though he probably can if he really wanted to. I'm just kidding. He's going to spend some time at home to recover and get back into health and be fully capable of joining us. So, in the meantime, we got another episode where we're going to be talking about something, and I'm going to have a discussion and view my opinions and just entertain the thoughts of this. One thing that's been over the airwaves, articles, blogs, videos, TV shows, everything like that is, of course, the Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith whole marriage debacle situation and everything like that. Now, to make this clear, I really never knew any of this in the sense of problems, and me and Justin's both been loving movies and following actors and stuff like that. We don't really hear too much. Definitely somebody a family as a whole as famous as the Smiths. Will Smith in his career, Jada with hers, great talented actors and actresses. Their son, Jaden, came to fame with being a musician and like his father, an actor like his father. Willow's getting into the scene too. It's a real talented family. I mean, you can't, there's not too many children that can really be blessed to come from such a talented mother and father like those Smith kids. But as we all know, marriages in Hollywood don't generally last for one reason or another. It could be, to me personally, I think it's a publicity stunt a lot of times when people get married and they're celebrities, because it's like, okay, 6 months later, divorce. They started dating in 2019, 2020, they're married. By 2021, they're divorced. You just can't take it seriously. So, when a Hollywood marriage comes about and they last, you kind of get like, wow, okay, it can work, sure, yeah, let's. And I can probably only literally count the number of Hollywood marriages on my hand. And I do want to make this clear, like, when we are talking about Hollywood marriages, I'm not talking about like a marriage that's one person is a famous actor up here, like to the top, and the other one was in a couple of direct-to-DVD or direct-to-TV movies when they were like 15 and now they're like 40. No, that's not the same thing, because their acting career is pretty much like done. It's over. Shoot. Now, I'm talking about, both actively working, both are on the big screen consistently, or they have a resume that just keeps just building and building, and they're both as equal. That's kind of what I am talking about here. So you can really only count as many, you might do a top 10 and realize that's probably all you're going to get, and that will make it difficult to organize it. So the Will Smith and Jada thing is kind of like a little bit of a shock to me, because I'm like, when the news broke, I'm like, wait, they were on the rocks? They have an open marriage? And that's the thing, too. Like, so many stuff has been coming out like, oh, they have an open marriage. Will Smith has a list of people that his wife can only see or date. That's her permission and stuff like that. I know Jada made a comment a couple years back. It might be like 4 or 5 years now, where she's seen this hint that they are in an open marriage, where she like said something like, "Oh, Will can do and see what he wants because he's a grown man," and a lot of people took that out of context. And mind you, when stuff is not confirmed and people make their own opinions, everybody's going to interpret that as that is an open marriage. But anybody with common sense is like, well, no, she said basically that if he wanted to go cheat, who is she to stop him? She's not. They both openly denied they have an open marriage, and to be honest, so what if they do? I mean, it's their business, their life. You just can't judge. Your marriage may be a closed one, my marriage may be a closed one, and that's what we prefer. But there are other people that prefer other things, and like, well, sleeping with the same person for the rest of your life might be boring. Who knows? But apparently, in 2016 or 2017, Jada did have an affair that they apparently was separated. Now, I never heard of them being separated. So, they really kept their private lives so private that, for this brief time, they were not together. Yes, they were married, and, according to law, adultery is adultery. But they were separated. We all know, we all been there, or you guys haven't. But when you're separated but married, go off and do your own thing, and because divorces take time, stuff like that. And the crazy thing is, and I'm looking at like my notes because Jess always makes funny because I'm printing out. I'm trying to remember everything, and so Jada had an affair with a singer, August Alsina. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. And it's crazy because she's in her late 40s. She had to be early mid 40s when this affair took place. And of course, August, he's a young buck because he's actually like one of Jaden's friends or something like that. And it's crazy. And of course, look, Jada's a very attractive woman for her age. So, bragging rights gotta go to Austin. You're just like, holy hell, you porked a MILF. But there are conflicting stories. The biggest one is August is saying that they weren't separated. Will came to him and gave his blessing to pork his wife. I used pork. I did. Of course, Jada came out and said, first I believe she denied it right off the bat. Like, no, we never did anything, blah, blah, blah. The normal spiel that you kind of expect somebody to come out and deny something. But then she came out and was like, yeah, there actually was a time where me and Will was separated, and she was able to do her own thing, and her own thing was banging her kids' friend. We're in a society today where there are double standards. There are hypocrites and non-hypocrites. There are invisible hypocrites where it's like, okay, if a 48-year-old guy was banging a 17-year-old girl or 18, I forgot how old he was. I think he would have been underage in this timeline. He's a creep, perv. She was so innocent. He took advantage of her. But those same people go, oh, wow, good for Jada. She was able to snag a younger guy because that's how we look at things. Like, no, age is age and numbers, and it's a number and everything like that. So if you're going to preach that, you got to preach both sides of the thing. But, of course, it's the whole back and forth. Who's telling the whole story here? Does Will and Jada have an open relationship, open marriage? They had that red table talk thing and cleared it out. And, I don't think honestly, they kept their separation a private thing and they never wanted it to get out this far. And because they were back together, I said this was in 2016, 2017, and they've moved on. They got back together because sources did confirm, like, this separation they went through, it wasn't a hatred thing. It wasn't like, you jerk, or you be this and that and stuff like that. No, it was just the best people said that they love each other, but they're two different people going in two different directions. Will Smith is going left, and Jada's going right. And when you're so used to being together, I guess it kind of caused a rift. I mean, every marriage just goes through it. Every marriage, I mean, there are tons of marriages where they do have a separation period. But her friends claim that, or not claim, they did state that even while they were separated, Jada loved Will. And obviously vice versa. Will was her world and still is. They have a family together, and she even raised his son from a previous marriage and everything like that. So there was no hatred. And usually when there isn't something like, if it's not like a bad sour taste thing, type of situation, that people are usually generally going to get back together. Home is home, and your loved ones are your loved ones. And this is one of those Hollywood marriages where, this was a blimp in the road, and it truly was. And like I said, we're in 2020 talking about a situation that occurred a few years back. Like I said, I believe it was 2016, might have been 2016 and 2018, something like that. This affair, this relationship with her in August it didn't happen during this pandemic with the coronavirus. No, it's not. It sucks that it's a big deal to us because we're talking about it, and they put that behind them. And yeah, like I said, I'm looking at my notes because I thought I wrote it down. Or printing out, it's it happened in the past. And now the next topic decided is like, okay, who do you want to believe? You want to believe Jada, who went back to her husband, who is living a happy life, I presume, or do you want to believe August? Now, I'm not really in tune with the music world. I mean, it's part of our entertainment industry, and we both should be, me and Justin. But I don't know who this guy is. I mean, and why did he wait? Like I said, this didn't happen this year. Why come out now and say something? And and then and say, oh yeah, it was Will's permission or Will's idea, whatever like that. And of course, like I said, Jada's saying stuff like, he never gave permission. He said, hey, we're separated. It's whatever. And I guess maybe, according to Jada, that August took this as a permission statement. Mind you, when you're 17, 18, you're not dumb, even though science will say, oh, you're fully capable, you're not fully capable of making a judgment call. So, yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. You were 17, you were 17, you were 18, blah, blah, blah. I was 17. I can remember what I was doing when I was 18 years old. And 17, 16, 17, it was all the same. I was working, and hung out with my friends, enjoyed life like that, doing stuff that I like. Kind of what I'm doing now at 30. But it's just so tricky because it makes you wonder if they do have an open relationship, and so be it. I mean, if they do, they do. I mean, that's something. It's not new. I mean, we live in a new society now where that's not new, and some people don't want to stay with the same person, and you always have love for them, and it's a shame that they did put this behind them. They obviously kept it a secret. They fixed it and they moved on. But now they have to make it public because August, when I refer to he, wants to come out and blur it out there. Like, yeah, I banged Jada. I think that's literally how it started, too. Like, he just came out, was like, I banged her. I banged Jada. I love older women. I banged her. And they were like, when? Oh, here, wait. Jada cheated on Will? Oh my God. And of course, it blew out of proportion. It was like, no. And I seen like posts, and part of doing this stuff, you have to stay active on social media. Even if you're just posting, you kind of have to, even if you're not posting, you still kind of have to look and see what people say in the comments, and you got to stay up to date with stuff. And it kind of like, man, my God, it's just bashing and bashing. It was insane. And then it came out, and I gotta admit, like, I don't, on my personal accounts, I don't like blur out like my opinions of somebody. I actually try to, my personal account's more of like a secondary account for Smash Writing, because I just stay out. I keep my personal life very much a secret, even on my private social media accounts. But yeah, it just blew it out of proportion, and it's very much entertaining because, and I'm sure there's going to be more details long after this. August might be like, well, we did this, we did that, and Jada really likes this, and Jada talks smack on Will. Kid, let it go. It's giving you your 15 minutes of fame, and that's pretty much how it goes. But, it makes you wonder, like, with their marriage, they did grow apart. How did they reconnect? Maybe being away from each other, realize that you may grow apart, but you can still grow together. I mean, they have 2 kids together. They have, their marriage has been a nice, even for any American couple, it's a good length. So you don't want to see them end. And like I said, there's not too many Hollywood couples out there that are going this strong, being together. Yeah, they had a period of time, and that was about it. But here they are, and it sucks that they have to put their dirty laundry out there like that. But I mean, sometimes when you bring another party into the situation, your secrets are their secrets, and if they want to expose them, they're going to expose them. But yeah, like, this is insane with these two. And like I said, I never knew this even existed. You never heard nothing about Will and Jada. And now you're hearing a lot about Will and Jada. I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to bet my money on it. Somebody's going to have more details. Like, it's not going to be left alone. because I don't know August. I don't know his reputation or anything like that. But he may come out and start bashing people and stuff like that, and like, oh no, or he did say it's over. So I mean, well, they both made clear this happened in the past. Jada's using her Scientology stuff to like, he needs to be healed, but I had to heal myself, so I couldn't help him. Oh, you helped him. you helped him, all right. So I mean, you did your part, Jada. You might have probably even took his virginity. Who knows? I don't know. But you did your part. Good job. You're in that MILF / cougar status stuff. So, yeah. And that's today's episode right there. Talking about some Hollywood marriages. Some gospel right there. Like I said, Justin will be back in about a month. So we're going to be running the show without him. Hope you guys stay tuned. And Justin's blogs and everything will actually be up earlier than that because it's easier to type from home. So until then, guys, have a good one.